Welcome back.
Yeah, I know, right? Here we go. What do you think of the first day of practice?
That was good. I thought it was good. I thought guys were flying around. And, I think you just want to see them take that next step. When you're out here, they're in the offense for the second time in the fall training camp, which is cool. So I think there's a lot of pieces there that make it a lot more friendly to coach some different stuff instead of getting to play with it the first time. And so I thought guys did a good job. It's day one. Expectations for day one are to come out and fly around and not make a lot of mistakes. It's a lot of stuff they've worked on in the summer. And it's good to see that gel and that glue.
I like the style be a little different this year with Sam in the second season and your
Style, yeah, I don't. That's going to be hard to tell. I think style and what you do really kind of, in my opinion, what we do is kind of let it kind of maturate itself. Like, see where you are, who's your people, how are your tools. I try not to set myself up for disappointment or for the ability not to be flexible. And I think with Sam in year two and JT hearing it the second time, a lot of guys hearing it from the second time, I think that just helps me be able to keep my eyes on some other pieces at certain times and kind of watch where maybe we have some different weapons or some utilization of some different key pieces that I maybe I couldn't watch last year because I'm so dialed into the quarterback. So he's got a lot to do with the offense. We know that. We've talked about it. There's a lot of things now that we give him, empower him to do that are awesome because it gives you flexibility to get in and out of bad things or things he really likes. And so, again, I think it's year two. It's another step. And as long as we understand that the identity, offense, and what we need to get done collectively, then the flexibility makes it fun.
I asked Sam how he's doing with his patience, developing patience. He laughed a little bit and said, I came out last year trying to prove that I should be the quarterback. I'm kind of learning patience.
Yeah, I think that's probably a very accurate statement for kind of, we talked about that little in spring. The game slows down in year two, and you learn everything's a little bit slower. You start thinking about things a little more thorough. You're not trying to force stuff. And like us young people out here, patience is a great virtue for a lot of us. So I'm glad that the youngster is able to feel that in himself.
Where was the offense at maybe compared to any expectations you had going into day one? Was it further along or about where you expected?
No, I mean, about where expected. I got pretty high expectations for this group. They know that. We ask a lot of them. I think the expectations for where we are in day one are really the only thing I kept my eye on. I'm not going out over my skis about next week or Saturday or who we're playing. It's in day one. Are we getting done what we need to get done on first and second down, on some third medium, certain packages where guys know where to go in, some red zone work, winning some one-on-ones, competing. Now that's more the checklist I got for expectations of the day without getting too far ahead.
Sam said that his working relationship with you is competitive. What are you doing to, constantly raise the bar for him so he doesn't feel like he's, running out there being the same quarterback every day but continuing to get better?
Yeah, I mean, you got to be creative as the further these guys go along, especially with guys that are, in that position and who are alphas and who are self-starters because they're going to be out ready to go. It's hard to challenge guys as they get older, whether it's an NFL vet and you're finding different things for them to do or it's a guy who's really like Sam, who's very out in front. He's in the dark hours. He's ahead of you on the script. He's already seen the cut up. I think we challenged in a lot of ways on trying to see how fast he can get things done. Do you understand what I'm going to do without saying it? Remember that one clip we watched of Mahomes or of Josh or somebody else we watched this summer or watching Matt do something. There's a lot of little pieces I've challenged him to try to remember certain things we talk about as we've kind of continued to build. So that's really where it gets competitive because I'm like, nah, you don't, after we talked about this, you don't remember what we talked about. And so he don't like, it's like a board game, right? He don't like having to feel he's got to turn the board over. So it's an awesome deal. We've got a great relationship.
Is that pretty impressive for a redshirt sophomore quarterback to be at that spot already?
Yeah, I think that I've had a few guys who are pretty good. I think you start seeing that rare ability at certain times to be able to manage multiple modes of information so fast. But he works hard at it. We spend a lot of time at it. We recognize that when we're recruiting him. But he's doing a great job with it.
When you have a deeper, more talented group of tight ends, does that allow you to explore some aspects of the playbook which we're not able to do maybe last year?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see our recruiting, when you come out. That's another thing. You come out and you start to go, we've got this great deal, right, apparently. Wow, it's good to see that we built it that way, right? It's good to see that your evaluations at certain positions are sticking out and the tools and the resources you put into it are out there in the field, tight end at one position with Mons and saying, hey, I got here last year, not one guy was there from the year before. They went transferred and left or whatever or moved on, and we rebuilt the room together. And what it looks like to have those guys out there looking like that today pretty special. We saw that last year a little bit in flashes, having to start utilizing them in certain ways. But the length, the size, the ability to control the line of scrimmage, control the box, work the middle, and then play in one-on-one situations vertically. Those guys can be dangerous pieces, and being multiple is definitely who we are, right?
Was it any different for you
Quantify.
with expectations?
One more time.
Is it different for you this year coming in with higher expectations than last year's, where nobody expected much out of this team?
Well, I think it's kind of that's the whole thing, right? It's like your target grows on you now, right? And so that's the reality of everything we've got to do. Your opponent's going to be ready. You're going to be now the hunted versus the hunter. You got to avoid and starve those expectations and those distractions, and that's the biggest key that anybody's got. I think Sirianni said it the best. It's not boxing where you get to keep the belt the whole time. You got to start back, give it back, you're 0-0. And I put that the first slide I showed the offense yesterday because I think it's the perfect quote. They're going through the same thing in Philly. Is like, clear the slate. You're an 0-0. Sit back, remember how we got here, and get back to some fundamental, tough, physical football. Jaron's got some real tools in regards to his ability. Him be able to utilize those abilities in the offense are going to be the thing in year one, right? It's the ability to play explosive football. He can get down the field and catch the ball, play in one-on-one situations as good as anybody physically. Now we got to get him there mentally, playing fast, learning the offense, moving him around slowly. There's a piece of the offense philosophy that I like to get guys going and feeling confident before I start making them do everything. And so finding that sweet spot of how much I can give him to play fast in the offense is going to be my job and me and Hines' job. But he's got the ability to stretch it vertically. As we see, he's physical, he's fast. He can play anywhere. He can play in the middle. He can play underneath. He can play over the top. If we get him in a one-on-one, there's that ability. We just got to make sure we're on the same page with him because he's still young in the system.
Appreciate it.
Thanks. Have a good day.